French, Spanish and EU leaders are looking at how to respond to the wildfires raging across southern Europe. Blazes have already consumed more than 80,000 hectares in Spain and over 42,000 hectares in France. Both fires remain out of control and have forced more than 320,000 people to leave their homes. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez warned difficult hours lay ahead in the fight against wildfires.
Por eso, prevención, respuesta y reconstrucción. Antes lo comentaba con el presidente Mañueco, también con el alcalde, con el presidente de la Diputación de Ávila. Es evidente que todavía no ha acabado el verano, que por desgracia tendremos nuevos incendios.
Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron chaired an interministerial crisis meeting on wildfires on Monday. The fire in Gironde has been stabilized but is not yet under control, the French Interior Minister said.
On est confronté en Gironde à un phénomène qui est totalement inédit.
Europe's firefighting capacity is struggling to keep pace with increasingly intense wildfires in Spain and France, the European Commission said Monday, despite one of the EU's largest ever emergency responses. The Commission has mobilized 7 aircraft and 4 helicopters to France, as well as 6 aircraft and 3 ground firefighting teams to Spain through the EU Civil Protection Mechanism. In addition, Brussels is moving to expand its firefighting fleet for future emergencies.
Iran has issued a fresh warning to Bulgaria after Sofia permitted the United States to use its military bases, escalating diplomatic tensions between Tehran and the Balkan nation. The diplomatic rift deepened after Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baqai warned that Bulgarian decision makers must bear responsibility for hosting a US aerial refueling aircraft. The statement follows a public message from US President Donald Trump, who thanked Bulgarian Prime Minister Ruman Radev for supporting the deployment despite Iranian threats. This marks the third warning issued by Tehran, which claims the move supports US military operations against Iran. Despite attempts by Bulgarian Defense Minister Dimitar Stoyanov to downplay the risk of a missile attack, the situation remains tense at home. Bulgaria's parliament approved the relocation of US aircraft to the Bezmer military airbase, sparking protests from local residents who fear the area could become a regional target. Global crude oil prices dropped on Monday, with September Brent crude falling 4.66% to $92.27 per barrel, and US WTI declining by around 5% to $84.83 per barrel. The retreat followed a sharp July rally that briefly pushed Brent to $102 per barrel amidst escalating conflict in the Middle East. Shipping disruptions through the critical Strait of Hormuz, the passage for 1/5 of world crude, drove initial price surges after conflict flare between the US, Israel and Iran. Alternative routes faced renewed pressure last week following attacks on Saudi oil tankers operating in the Red Sea. As supply strains reignited inflation concerns, traders raised the likelihood of a Federal Reserve interest rate hike to 36%. While prices eased slightly, heavy market uncertainty remains over potential economic impacts across Europe and worldwide.
The share price of pharmaceutical company AstraZeneca rose in European trading on Monday after the company reconfirmed its full-year outlook following second quarter results that beat analyst expectations. Net profit climbed more than 2% to 2.2 billion euros in 3 months to the end of June, compared with the same period last year, driven by continued strong growth in sales of its cancer and rare disease medicines. Alongside its blockbuster medicines, AstraZeneca is investing in treatment for obesity. Results released in June showed that patients taking the highest dose of AstraZeneca's experimental weight loss pill, Elegoglipron, lost an average of 10.5% of their body weight after 26 weeks, with weight loss reaching 11.8% after 36 weeks. If confirmed in further trials, the treatment could mark AstraZeneca's entry into the highly lucrative weight loss drug market, currently dominated by Denmark's Novo Nordisk and US-based Eli Lilly. Shares of CXMT, China's largest memory chip maker, soared on Monday after they began trading in Shanghai in mainland China's biggest initial public stock offering in recent years. CXMT's shares surged 472% in their market debut and making it the most valuable company listed on the mainland Chinese exchange with a market capitalization of about 415 billion euros. CXMT is among a growing number of chip makers that have benefited enormously from the artificial intelligence boom. The company has also prospered as China pushes for greater self-sufficiency in advanced technologies while grappling with restricted access to cutting-edge chip-making equipment under US-led export controls. New clashes between police and protesters who oppose the ambitious tourism project of Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner in Albania broke out in Tirana. For the 57th day in a row, protesters gathered in the Albanian capital to express their opposition to what they call an environmental crime. They threw eggs and tomatoes at police officers, who in turn made arrests.
People are tired of the current corrupt system in Albania, and they want change. People have seen how things have gone for us, not just because of strategic investments, but also because of everyday life in Albania. All these people here, they're not ignorant. They know what's actually happening in Albania, and they're tired of corruption. It's that simple. Rule of law in Albania. That's all we want.
The protesters accuse the government of selling off the country's wealth and of being mired in scandals. At the same time, they accuse the government of attempting to control the judiciary and of creating a legal framework that serves the personal interest of government officials. The Albanian government maintains that the tourism plan aims to revitalize the wider region, attract high-end tourism, and contribute to the country's bid for EU membership.
So the area that they're in is really small, which is part of the reason that they're critically endangered. And that's also because of habitat loss. So the area that they occur in is called Montseny National Park, and the local area sources water from there for bottled water. It's really high quality spring water, which the newts love, and unfortunately we also love. So so they're losing a lot of the water out of these torrents. So their fertility rates are really low, and the hatching success is also very low. So we've been doing a bit of tweaking of the husbandry with our partners, trying to figure out what's going on, and we have seen quite a bit of increased success rate over the past couple of years. They're in these fast-flowing streams, but they're probably also living in the rocks in the water table, and it's very hard to observe them, and that's probably where the eggs and the larvae are, out of the way of predators and other threats.
C'est la suite d'une série qui a commencé maintenant il y a 4 ans avec Villard, où je crée une histoire sur plusieurs années et généralement c'est des enfants qui, année après année, évoluent ou créent une histoire justement. Ici, le défi, généralement, il est double. Il va être physique, parce qu'il y a quand même de la pente, il faut travailler du matin au soir, et la météo, parce qu'on est en altitude, on n'est pas tout à fait à 2000, mais on est quand même relativement haut, et du coup, j'ai, comme d'habitude, je dirais, joué avec les orages, le vent, la pluie, etc. Donc c'est toujours ça qui est compliqué pour moi. S'il y a beaucoup d'orages, évidemment, ça va disparaître plus. On voit déjà un peu que l'herbe repousse déjà. Moi, j'adore ce moment-là parce que finalement, c'est un moment où la nature reprend ses droits sur ce que j'ai fait moi.